An upcoming international window for the Canadian men's national team. They will be in Bucharest and Swansea to take on Romania and Wales. Two European opponents. Gareth Wheeler, what should Canadian fans expect from these matches? Should they expect Canada to win both of these matches?
I think it'd be surprising if they went out and won both games. I'm intrigued by these fixtures. I'm actually kind of excited about it, despite Canada not having anywhere near a full squad just in terms of first choice players. But I like the matchups that they're playing. Romania and Bucharest. I mean, this isn't a Romania side that's going to resemble the George Hagi days or the Dan Petrescu or anything like that. The great Romanian sides of yesterday, Christian Chivu. But the Romanian side at the last Euros did smash Ukraine 3-0 and impress in that tournament as being a high energy team. I do think that they're starting to move in the right direction. So there'll be some physical demands that are going to be that will test Canada in this game. So the matchup for me is a decent enough test for this young and relatively inexperienced Canadian team. I'm not sure playing these away fixtures in Europe will mimic anything like what's going to happen next summer, but the competition is fine. And then Adam, for us with Welsh heritage, this is a special moment. It's my father was born in North Wales. That's where he came from, and Adam and I, that's it. We have our Welsh kit because before Canada soccer
was relevant.
Started playing in major competitions. We'd always cheer for Canada, but there'd be like 2 or 3 men's games a year that you get on board with, and that was the European side that we followed with a passion. And Craig Bellamy's the manager now, and I think that much like Romania, they might lack like the top end star power. Like perhaps you can, associate Brendan Johnson in that category and some really good young players in the team, but they're going to be workmanlike. And it's a team that kind of is more about the sum of their parts rather than the individual pieces. So I think that they're two really good tests. I'd be surprised if Canada won both games, to be honest with you. Playing away from home, these are going to be difficult tests. And I just as a footballing nerd as I am, like there's something about these matchups that I really like. And Marsh said it, they kind of reflect the potential level of competition they'll play, potentially in the group stage of the World Cup. So bring on this European adventure. I'm looking forward to it.
Ollie, chips to the middle. Canada win both, yes or no?
I don't need both. I need one, though. Like, I want to see this team win games against meaningful opponents as much as we possibly can in the lead up to the World Cup, because I think those are the type of challenges they need. Okay, they're friendlies instead of tournament games, but they're still decent opponents. And you want to see them go to Europe, which obviously they haven't done in a long time, and win a match and do it, not against a minnow, but against maybe not the two biggest teams in Europe, but two decent teams nonetheless. So I will say, sat here sandwiched in between two Welshmen, that I'd particularly like to see them go to Swansea and smash them. So that's my hope. But like in all seriousness, like there's going to be room for experimentation and seeing different players and testing the depth and so on. But I kind of want to see as close to a starting 11 as they have, obviously with the absences they have, and go and try and get some results in two decent places to go against decent teams.
Do you know what I would love to see? I would love to see like a 3-man midfield. I just want to see what it looks like, to be honest. I like your back four is completely makeshift. Like Cornelius hasn't been playing a lot of football, but no Bombito, no Johnson, no Davies. Okay. Your goalkeeper, you might be, trying Hibbert or figuring out what's going on in that position. So there's nothing like really firm there. Like your number 9 or who's going to play alongside Jonathan David, you're not really sure. Jonathan David, by the way, is playing that position for Juventus. Put a third player in the midfield. I just even if it doesn't stick, even if it's not something that Marsh wants to take it forward, it might be a decent enough plan B or alternative way to go when required. I think we've seen Marsh do it before. I think, wasn't it against a game against Mexico that Jonathan Osorio kind of played in behind a striker?
Roman time,
I do think that we've seen some sort of variation of it. And with your central midfield players, like that's the one area of the team that you kind of have everyone on board for this. Try something different. Am I being offside here? Am I asking too much?
He did it. I know he did it against Uruguay. I remember that one.
Uruguay.
I think Osorio played, and there was one other one. You may be right. It may have been Mexico. I think. I think the friendly. So yeah, like I agree that they need to at least be testing different things as opposed to just playing the same kind of system, game in, game out, and have the options, even if it's not going to be your plan A. I do think that the added strength and depth in midfield now makes that more enticing as well, potentially getting Kone, Saliba and Eustáquio on the pitch, for example, at the same time. We know Jonathan David can do the job as the number 9, even if he's played very well as a 10 for Canada. So yeah, I've got nothing against that. And I think ultimately, if that does become an option, you start to debate, well, is it better to have a third midfielder, or is one of these strikers that we're talking about, Oliver Shea, Promise David, or whoever, in such good form and playing so well that you want to get them on the pitch and obviously alongside Jonathan David. So it's worth trying, and hopefully we see a bit of that kind of experimentation.
Yeah. And there's different variations it can do that, because Larea, obviously versatile, not only fullback, but can go up and play an outside midfield role as well and rotate and move. I think you can do some creative things where you still kind of have that similar balance to the team that he's having. But I just think that in some difficult moments that this team needs to be much more robust in that area. We've seen plenty of teams around the world, unless you have like absolute world beaters, like monsters like Caicedo and players like that in central midfield, is very difficult for a 2 to play against a 3. And I think that we've seen that at times for Canada, that, although they'll control the games from wide areas centrally, that's not always the case. So that's what I'd like to see. And results wise, I think to build back the vibes from the summer, where obviously in those competitions, even the fall, like kind of things ended with a thud, no trophies, not playing meaningful games. I think they need to get back winning. Just to have people start believing again. They might believe internally, that's fine, but you got to get the country excited as well. And yeah, these games being away, they might not have the magnitude of others, but I think that kind of sets the table for what's to come. So I'm with Ollie. At least go in and win one of these games and come out with some decent performances while they're at it.
All right, Friday, September the 5th at Romania. It is a 3 p.m. Atlantic time start. And Tuesday, September the 9th in Swansea, it will be a 12:45 p.m. Mountain kickoff. Both matches right here on OneSoccer.